Good morning. There we go. So many things to do, so little time. But here we are. So, coffee in hand. And looks like it's just me this morning. Tell you what, I'm gonna have a quick check on Discord. See what's happening. Get the chat up. Where's the chat? There we go. Haha, there's Stelly. Alright, Stelly, how you doing? Coffee time, and then we've got some jobs to do. So I need to add some tom fills. That's what I need to do. I need to get rid of some of the kind of sweepy fills that I did on that new track, and do something else. And I've got a whole list of other things. You haven't slept yet? Wow. So how long have you been up in total today? How long's your day been, Stelly? Because we need our sleep, don't we? Wow. So maybe 40 hours? That's good going. I mean, if you don't feel tired, that's cool. But it's obviously a really demanding job that you have. So yeah, interesting. Being on call 24/7. Right, so we're shorting up 3 or 4 hours isn't bad, is it? Sometimes I get less than 6 hours sleep. But not demanding, but all over the place, yeah. I can imagine. Yes, I mean, sometimes I'm just faffing about. I mean, I'm winding down, but a lot of the times I'm meant to go to bed at 10 o'clock and get up at 5, but sometimes I'm up till 12. Which is why I put the streams back a little bit. But I still have to get up at 5:30 to get everything set up. Josh, how you doing? How's it going? Good to see you on here. So I think we're doing a little bit of work on that track, but then I need to set up a project for me to record the guitars, because at some point we're going to be doing guitar solos, probably tomorrow actually. I wouldn't I went away on holiday for a couple of weeks, so I wasn't on an acoustic guitar that much. So that wasn't good, the holiday thing. And then the last bit of the holiday, I played lots of electric guitar, so there wasn't any acoustic guitar. And then honestly, when I went back to work, my fingers could hardly work the thing. And honestly, I played like crap till yesterday. So that's nearly 10 days of just absolute rubbish playing. However, it's not just that. I've been it's really weird. So I'm judging this on my performance. So when I'm playing and I'm improvising, that's like taking a dip, and it's been hard moving about. But then again, I've opened a lot of doors in my guitar playing, with like the 212 arpeggios and pentatonic stuff. Hi, Hang, how you doing? The lighting is great. Oh, that's what. Thank you. I think that's. Yeah, I haven't had that compliment yet. Like where somebody's just come out with it, but people do say the lighting's nice when I ask. Yeah, so it's funny because like when I started the YouTube, I like obsessed over lighting and not myself. So there was basically shit content but good lighting. No, but you do get like, I don't know if anybody else is like this, but you do get really involved with how things look, and you forget about sort of like your lighting. So I'm glad you like it. It is badass lighting, yeah. It's funny, Josh, right? Because I sat on starting a live for ages because I wanted to have a coaching business and I didn't want to write long emails and do emailing lists, and I just wanted, like, a lot of it's trust. So the best way for people to see you and trust you is just to do something, where they can see you doing it and talk to you. So that's why I started YouTube. And I put it off and off and off, and I couldn't be asked. And then I got a camera off Thomas, and then it was like that sat there for a while, and then eventually what happened is I got COVID. But I was all right, and I was in this basement for 10 days, and which was brilliant. It was like I could just live in here. It's ridiculous. So I just kind of got the camera and went round the room looking through the lens till I found a shot which framed nicely. And then this was it. You had it twice, Stelly. Yeah, it's that I've had it once. I don't intend on which is like, I don't know like how I didn't get it more. I mean, it was right at the end really of it all when I got it. It was just mental. So basically, I had like 2 hue lights, and then I just kind of, brick wall's going to be red. This one's going to be blue. I flicked through the colours, and they were the best colours. And this is what we've got, and it's just kind of, I hit lucky, and this is how it looks. The only other upgrade is the self-portrait there that my missus did of me, which isn't a self-portrait because I didn't do it. Because like when you're a rock star, legend, you've got to have a picture of yourself on the wall. Fact. Right. So when the pandemic first started, and then we saw like, oh, Italy was having a really hard time, and we were like, so basically, for those of you who don't know, right, I work as a therapeutic musician as well, in mental health, learning difficulties, and autism services, and I get to do this all day long, basically. I just remember watching it, like the staff, like watching the TV, watching, I think it was Italy having a really bad time, and then it was almost like a zombie movie, wasn't it? You're kind of watching this terrible stuff happen elsewhere, and then I think the next day, people started getting ill and getting high temperatures and having to leave, and that was the start of it. And at that point I decided, right, immune system, what do I need to do? I need to lose a bit of weight. So like the thing was, it got me to diet, and that was the one thing I did, and I got healthy, and I ate it, and just ate well, and tried to look after myself, and pretty much, for nearly 2 years I didn't get it, and I was amongst it. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, it was absolutely, some people just didn't survive it, and it's awful. But I mean, I was lucky. I didn't even like feel anything really at all. I mean, I set my stream up, and I was properly, and I was streaming in front of people with COVID. Yeah. So yeah, I've been right. So I'm losing weight now, and the reason being is, if I don't, the missus is going to kill me, because we've booked a photo shoot. The band started again, which she was in. Freak Star's back out, and She's absolutely like obsessing over this photo shoot, which is going to happen, which was spent a ton of money on, which is going to happen on Tuesday next week, and I have to be down to a certain weight, which is actually the weight I should be. And then she's just going, but then it's going to be this like really weird version of Courtney Love and Kurt Cobain that's going on. Seriously. Wow, 6 foot, 210 pounds. I don't know what I am in pounds. I work in stone. I'm 13. I weighed myself before the stream, and I'm 13.1.2. It's so it's been really weird, like just the band starting again. Because like it's had me doing also. I don't know if you've seen. I put like a private one up of one of the like social media videos that we did. So like the carpool video, which we did of White Trash, and then we've done some other little bits where basically I was jumping about in a teddy bear suit, which actually I really enjoyed. It was just very hot and I couldn't breathe, and I thought I was going to die. But the things you do is ridiculous, isn't it? $15 stone. So yeah, so I'm 13.1.2. And I just need to be 13 at the max. If I can go down a little bit. So 12.5 is, that would be an excellent weight for me actually. 12.5, I know it seems a bit light for somebody who's 6'3", but when I'm that, like, I just clothes look amazing on me. But it's really weird because I start looking stocky. When I start getting over 13, then I start looking stocky. I've got to get rid of the love handles here. I'll tell you what, should we not do music? Should we just have a men's health programme? We'll all come together, us men, and we'll talk about our health issues and weight and things like that, and, relationships. Should we do that? Maybe I could go on the chat. I think I'd be good. I'd be good on in fact, it would be a really good chat program, wouldn't it? I can see it now. I could give absolutely shit advice on on everything apart from music and hair. I could lend an ear though. I don't know about sorting relationship problems out. Yeah, the love handles are here. But I don't want them popping out the side of my guitar. Especially when you're playing a Kiesel. You gotta look trim, haven't you? Well, you don't, but... right, so, what was I going to do today? Yes, so we're going to have a look at this track. There's a few things I need to fix on it. And then we need to add the vocals, which we're not going to do because that'll just like cripple the computer with latency. And then I'll not be able to talk to anybody. But I have got rough vocals added to it that aren't mixed. So you'll see that. So just the rough kind of ones. But it's sounding very good. I'm very pleased with how this has turned out, considering the hours on it. Like it's like 5 hours or something that's been spent, plus the singing. So maybe a day. So working. Yeah, music. But it's okay to chat as well, Chatting is important, and I think like when I first started doing this channel, like one of the things I didn't do enough of was actually give people attention. I would like just ignore them and do my music and insist that everybody was there to watch me do music, and then had to talk about music. So life is part of music, isn't it? And it's okay to talk because I've got plenty of time to do music, that's for sure. Elsewhere. So we've got that. We've got drum fills to do. In fact, I've got a list of stuff that needs addressing in this track in the machine. Yeah. So the other thing on Discord when I get round to it is there's a couple of little things that I'm doing. So at the moment, I'm really keen on doing the Wednesday Zoom free coaching calls. Okay. And I warn you, sometimes it can be demanding, but they're extremely rewarding. So last night we did. So I had a few people on. Stelly was there, and we did design versus discovery, or design to discovery. Maybe it's design to discovery, and the actual prompts that I had. I mean, the way it worked is what we had to do is I was giving people a design statement, and we had to talk about how we could make it into a discovery statement. So, for example, I think the first question is how do I get the ideal situation to make music? How do I get the ideal situation to make music? And, we discussed around that, and, that's like an environmental design statement. So, that'll be based on sort of problems that I've encountered. For example, people are always like, oh, you know what, I need this plugin to do this, or I need a new keyboard, or I need other things, right? But like those aren't barriers stopping you to do music, So we had a great discussion about that, and then I think at the end of the day, the answer for that is, how do I use the equipment I have now? How do I use my situation now to create the ideal situation to make music in? So at the end of the day, the discovery is just using what actually exists, is what we're doing. And that to me is the whole, even though it sounds quite simple, design and discovery, it's something that you have to really be aware of and then acutely experience the two things to know. Because it's amazing how designy we can get. It always fascinates me, and I still do it, and we're human beings, and why we do that and why I do it sometimes is because it's conscious thinking, right? And it's based on things that you've done before. So therefore, we have results. We know what the result was. We did this last time. We designed it. It worked, right? It worked. And I know if I do that now, it'll work again, right? So therefore, we know in the future that everything's going to be all right. And as human beings, we want to know that we're safe. Safety is our number one priority, isn't it? And we don't want to take risks because we're frightened of risk and getting hurt and things like that. And unfortunately, that seems to apply to the arts and music, where you're not going to get hurt, right? And you're not going to waste any time. This is the thing. There is, if you think about it, right? When you're making music, right? There's no such thing to me, right, as failure. You can't fail, right? The only way the only way you can fail, right, is if you do nothing. If you sit there and you do nothing, nothing happens. And that's the worst situation you can be in for anything. If you do something, okay, you might not feel great about doing it. You might think, oh, this is really hard. I'm struggling. Why is making music so terrible? I'm an awful person. I should be able to do this. I've practiced like all my life yet, and all this kind of stuff. And you'll feel all these things when you're making music, okay? But that is human nature. That is perfectly normal. That is how sometimes, or a lot of the time, you feel that. But it is only thoughts and feelings. What is meaningful is the music, the emotion, the story, the purpose that you try to get across in your music. That is what's important. But unfortunately, as artists, and we're such divas, we're like too concerned about how we're feeling making the thing that it's very difficult for us to actually be able to analyze what we're actually making. A great analogy I heard, somebody told me about this experience is like our unreliable thoughts and feelings when we're making music. When we start getting on board with those thoughts and feelings, okay, it's a bit like if you could imagine mouthwash, right? And your music coming out of the speakers is orange juice. So it's a bit like trying to taste orange juice through having a mouthful of, having just had some mouthwash, right? Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, so what we need to do is, so the information of our music is reliable, we need to quieten down our internal critic. And that's what's important. This is my speech today. And design discovery is all about that. But don't think, right, that is tied to just sitting in front of a computer recording and making music. It's not. Okay? Discovery is part of everything we do. And discovery is part of when you're playing guitar. Connecting patterns and situations together in your improvisation. Discovery is about discovering, when you're improvising, the music in real time that somebody else is communicating to you. Discovery is about your interpretation of that music and how you respond to it. There is no how can you design when you don't know what the next thing is? So discovery mindset's very, very important because it requires you to clear your mind. And if you've got a clear mind and you're playing, then there's only you and the music. So improvising is, to me, and I know Frank and Barley hit the nail on the head when he said it's the highest form of art. And at that point, when you're improvising, which I love, whether I'm doing badly or well with it, it's communication. And I'm very much at one with my music, and my emotions are coming out. And if I've had a bad day or a good day, it's there, isn't it? For all to bear as a metaphor for how I'm feeling. And, I could be in pain, yet it can be your pleasure. Josh, I'm glad you love improvising. I was watching a Jack Gardner video on improvisation, remind myself of how amazing he is. But he was actually, saying young guitarists these days, they're doing the best 10 to 15 seconds of music that they've rehearsed and practiced and mimed to, and that's very good. But when it comes to improvisation, you need to express yourself. You're missing out. No, he's really good. So it's important, isn't it? It's like being able to express yourself, your emotions in a metaphor in music. It's you're decompressing yourself. That's what I find. So improvisation's a great way to sort of experience that struggle between the internal and the external worlds. Great book, In a Game of Music. In a Game of Music talks extensively about this. It calls it Self 1 and Self 2. Self 1 is the critical self. Self 2 is the place of unlimited creativity and performance. And Self 2 is where we need to be. But unfortunately, Self 1 gets involved with Self 2 and says, look, dude, I know you're improvising, but you've left the oven on. Because Self 1 likes to protect us. So it's like, or Self 1 will go, right, you're a shred guitarist, and I've noticed that you've been playing very slow melodies. That lick that you played the other day, you need to play it now. And then you do it and you completely mess up and it's inappropriately played in the wrong place and all this kind of stuff. That's like what so we don't need Self 1 in that instance. Having said that, I'm not beating Self 1 up totally because we do need it for when we want to be analytical about something. All right. So I'll give you an example. There's a couple of examples. So Self 1 is my automatic music making machine. Now, disclaimer, I do my listening sessions in the session, so you can see me doing my listening sessions when I'm listening to music on the computer, looking at the door. That's not really allowed. what's meant to happen, because you can use your eyes, right? You need to be using your ears. So I have Trello on my phone, and all the music's on there. So what I'll do is I'll be out of the studio and I listen to the music out of the studio. So I haven't got any cognitive load around me, and then I'm just focused in on the music. And then I can allow my editor a chance to have a say. I go, right, editor, it's your turn. You can have a listen to this, but strictly I direct listen. So when you're direct listening, I try not to have any judgmental thoughts, and I focus as the anchor. It's a bit like meditation on the music. It could be an element in the music. It could be I might focus on the how I'm sitting, the pressure of my feet. I might focus on my breathing. There's like loads of different direct listening exercises, but they're all designed to just stop you being judgmental. Okay, and then you listen to the music no more than twice, and then you allow your editor to put down maybe 3 things of what you can remember needs doing in that track. Because if you don't remember it, right, probably doesn't need doing, or you'll pick it up the next listening session. So that's really important. That the other thing, what you don't want to do. So what you might experience, right? And sometimes I'll get this. I'll listen to an audio book in the car, and I'll daydream, and then I completely didn't hear anything of the book and have to go back. Same with your music, you know. Music starts, right, and then I'll just hear like the snare or something or the kick, and I'll go, God, that's a bit crap. Why is that crap? And then I'll start having the thoughts, and the music's playing. I'm not listening to any of the music. I'm just going, oh, why is that kick drum really bad? All right, well, I could get the EQ. I could maybe do it. Maybe put a little bit of more click on it. No, maybe not that. Maybe I need to get a transient designer. But then I need to look at the low end. I think it's probably the mids. So I could carve a bit of the mids out there. All right, there's a bit of the kick missing. Yeah. And then you have that, and then the track's got, and I haven't listened to anything. And then I just go crashing into a session, fixing a kick, and then basically losing whole objectivity of everything else that's going on harmonically round the kick drum, and messing the whole thing up. And that's the classic thing you want to avoid. All right. But yes, fundamentally, analyzing your music outside the studio, planning outside of the studio. For your guitar playing, this is why, playing in front of a camera has really helped me, and especially lives with Thomas, which hopefully will be. I don't know if I'll have to see what's happening this weekend, but they'll be resuming at some point. If not, you'll have to put up with me on an evening. But having a live performance where you're playing, you can watch it back and you can analyze what you're doing, and that's really it. That's you at the top of the zones of experience, right? Connecting with the world. So whatever the connection part is, whatever's coming up there, your message, what you're doing, what your intention is, directly to the other people after that, that's where the proper data is, the real valuable stuff. Okay? Kind of everything else, reviewing ourselves in the safety of our laboratory is good, but it's not as good as that. That's the truth. Okay? And that's where the good data is. And you just have to kind of do it. But the closest you can get is sort of just recording yourself in front of a camera and just analyzing it. And it's just like treating yourself as an experiment. That's what I do. I don't. When I got back into shredding, I was playing, I was all over the place, and I was like, oh, this is really bad. It was uncomfortable. But then I soon realized I got to a point where I didn't care anymore, because there's no point. It's fine. I mean, I don't mean I didn't care as in I just want to play crap and give everybody a bad time. I want to do my best. But I don't care about my internal feelings about what I'm doing. What I do care about is reviewing the data as if it's an experiment of me performing in front of people. And that becomes really important. So, you're treating yourself like an experiment. You're removing yourself emotionally. And all you want to do is just look at yourself and review it, and then work out what are the problems, and then what are the opportunities. Okay? And you don't want to be beating yourself up when you do your problems either. So I always start with wins, and there's always a win, like turning up would be a win. All right, if it's really bad. But there's always more wins than that. There'll always be something positive, always something that went really, really well. And we need to identify those things because those could be good starting points. So that's important. Problems, like you couldn't say problem, it's all crap, right? Because I can't, like, if I was to say I couldn't fix something in a mix or something like that, and I needed somebody else to do it, and it was a problem, and they said, well, what's the problem with the mix? And I went, it's crap. You can't work with that. It's got to be something that's concrete, binary. Okay, it's got to be, is this job done? Yes, it is. So we need very clear problems. So, for example, if it was a problem with legato, maybe your fingers are like traveling too high up on the fretboard. Maybe like for hammers only, your fingers are playing slightly flat. And you might describe this, you might go, right, the problem is that there was a lot of like ringing noise. You'd be able to see that. And then you could possibly put down what the explanation of that is. So I'm getting lots of like ringing, horrible noise, unwanted noise when I'm doing legato. And then the explanation is possibly because at times my fingers are playing flat. I'm not playing with the tips of my fingers. I'm playing too hard on the fretboard. So there could be those things. And then literally, like, I'm playing too hard on the fretboard. There, I've just described and explained something, and the solution's happened. I'm playing too hard on the fretboard. That's why I'm getting ringing noise. Options. Okay, exercises to lift fingers up. All right. Ringing noise, fingers flat. Okay, in the explanation and the description of the problem comes a solution. Fingers are flat. Lift them up. So it's kind of an example off the top of my head. So I hope that's helpful. It's a bit of a talk now, isn't it? Sorry about it. Anyway, does anybody find that useful? Now, because I think design and discovery is extremely important, and I want everybody, my dream on Discord is to have everybody experience the design to discovery psychic change. Oh, thanks, Josh. So everybody on Discord, right, I'm hoping, right, because it's not everybody's cup of tea, and you're probably thinking, oh, you know what, I've got in from work, or I've just got up in the morning, or I've just had my lunch. Come on, Tim, this is too heavy, man. And sometimes it is, but it's important. And, if we're going to take things seriously, I don't say it has to be painful, but we do have to challenge ourselves. And the motivation you get from doing stuff like this is amazing. And, I could sit there and go, come on, everybody, join my live on a Wednesday, and I'm gonna teach you how to use a compressor, right? More people would probably come to that. Why? Because they think compression is going to be a silver bullet that's going to fix all the music, right? And it's hard, and if they conquer that, the world will be sorted. No, that's not going to happen. But people obsess over these things. If I can just get the right reverb sound, if I can do this. But the truth of the matter is like these are skills, and because we've, grown up, most of us, in an education system that's basically 250 years out of date, because it's like training us to be in a workhouse and say that like hard work equals good, when that just isn't true. It's basically learning a skill. So again, we can be results focused. We've got something. I'm going to learn X. It's going to take this amount of time, Y, and I'll have X at the end. So, and then what does that equal? That equals certainty. But the really good producers, they're not bothered about certainty. They're in the moment. They're doing, I have this idea. I need to see if this works. Let's go. Bang, 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 bang. They're not going, risk analysis. I could waste all of my time if I do this idea. or I've done this idea, it's really good, but actually I didn't work very hard on it, so there must be something wrong. I have done this many a times. So you start muting everything off and you go through all your instruments going, there must be a problem. I found it. Too much low end on the snare, as if anybody's going to hear that. And then you do that. And then you go, oh, no, I found another bit. Too much mids in the bass. I better take that out. Solo and everything. The hi-hat's got rumble. And then you put your mix back together and you go, oh, God, it sounds terrible now. It's lost all of its character. And that's the result of it. Like, 9 times out of 10, when people do that, that's what's happened. If it sounds good, it's good. That's it. And then, but it's not that's it, because what the problem is now we don't trust ourselves because we didn't work hard enough. It's ridiculous, isn't it? So I'm quite keen on the free coaching at the minute, because it's great foundations for people when they're coming into my groups and making music. And design to discovery is just one of those things that's going to loosen you up. We don't want we don't want to be results focused, because there is no guarantee. As creatives in anything, we want to be uncertain. Uncertain is where we want to be. AI, it can design. It can do all of that. And it'll produce certainty. But that's not what we want as producers. We don't want certainty. We want to be uncertain, because that's where the art is. That's where the surprises are going to happen. And as I say, you're not wasting your time. We're only creating data, problems, solving problems. David Deutsch, the physicist and philosopher. Solving problems is how we create new knowledge. And therefore, if we have new knowledge, we can practice and we can improve. Very interesting stuff, isn't it? So hopefully we can get everybody, providing they're jumping on the calls on a Wednesday for now, trained up into embracing discovery. And even if you're not making music and you're just sitting there playing the guitar and you're improvising, this is the key internal foundations, thinking foundations that you need, that will give you the edge. You can spend as much time as you want, right? Playing up and down scales and trying to get certainty that way, okay? But there will be still something missing, and that'll be the artist. And we need to focus in on the artist. You need to focus in on being unique. You need to work out how you're going to use all these components, bring them together, and fulfill that dream. And that's why I'm here. Which is why I'm not always doing certain things or going, right, everybody turn up on Wednesday, I'm going to show you an amazing lick that will destroy all competition, right? I could do, well, maybe, right? But there's too much stuff of that already, and it's not, this stuff needs to be addressed. It's all helpful, but how we think about what we're doing, how we go about what we're doing, how we think about our environment that we're doing it in, how we think about our decisions using insight and analysis, how we overcome boredom. Because we get bored. How many times, oh God, Tim, help me. I'm playing guitar and I'm just playing the same thing all the time, which happens to everybody, including me, loads. How do I break out of it? How do I all of these things, are other areas that we need to address, and they fall into a category of things called conditions of success, which basically is working on you never get bored good, Stelly. The conditions of success are habits, environment, decisions, insight and analysis, fear, boredom, community, and lastly, I always put it last, somewhere in the middle, skills. I grew up with 2 hours of TV per day, 8 to 10 p.m. Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to watch Home and Away and Neighbours, and that was it. Australian soaps. I used to play my guitar and used to try and jam off the theme tunes. I distinctly remember. But I don't have a television now because I can't control it. I don't like. I have to be now proactive in everything I do. Another skill that we need to do. Yeah, home and away with you each day. Do you know what I did, Nathan? I actually then learnt the song and I sang it. I can sing home and away and play it at the guitar at the same time. Which unfortunately no one will ever hear. I bet you'd love to hear that. No. But I can sing a little bit, you know. Badly. I've got a voice. I could write a song and I could probably just about get it presentable. In fact, I have done there's a song there's two songs and Thomas always badgers me to do them. And I'm the singer on it. Oh, what is it? Love is a Rainbow. No, we never get bored. As kids, we had to create something from nothing. Well, that's true. I think sometimes, yeah, unfortunately, kids these days spend a lot of time looking at screens, don't they? Hi, Eddie Sonic, how are you doing? Good to see you on here. Eddie, are you, right, are you, right, everybody who's on here that isn't subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. There's lots of cool things happening here at the minute. I'm sort of deep in a discussion. The screen thing's terrible, isn't it? Look at scrolling. So, one thing I do on my phone is I have all the notifications switched off. You know, there's no way that I'm going to let that phone be my boss. I'm not having any red dots. I don't see any red dots anywhere. So yeah, it is a hard one. But yeah, so do subscribe to the channel. I've just been talking about, for those of you who come on, just been talking about ideas about design and discovery, designing, conscious thinking, certainty in the future of what you're going to make. You know, not risking anything. Not that there's any risk in music. Not having to deal with uncertainty. Again, sort of discovery, finding new things, experimenting, embracing uncertainty, coming up with music or improvisations that surprise you and everybody else. All right, that's right. Great, Josh. All right, thank you, Eddie. See you later. Right. So Eddie, before you go, in case you have gone, there's also a link to Discord, so join Discord because there's lots of free coaching stuff coming up. So yes, so I was talking about the future of the free sort of Wednesday sessions for now. Guitar on the left, that one. That's the 7-string. That's the fucking. It's beating my ass, you know. I love playing it though. I love the fan frets. It came from Kiesel. So it was time to get another guitar on the go, so I thought, wait, let's go 7-string. It's going on some new Freakstar music, actually. It's just hard work, isn't it? The 7-string. So I'm toying with do I tune the B? I might tune the B down to A. I might be one of those 7-stringers. Yeah. So I'm thinking about tuning it down, and then I can get things going that way with one finger. Yeah. Did I try the 4KB vocal? No, because my vocal strip's completely different. So yes, I did try it on that for tracking and stuff. But like when Sharon's in the room for vibe, because it's good. The B has um, the most character, but you don't want that. Like to me, I don't want that much character across every channel. But it significantly makes a difference, and it's got a great sound, and works lovely on Sharon's vocals. But yeah, it's just so when I made the vocal strip, I tried various things, and with Sharon's voice, I want her to be more rock than she is really, and I tend to use things that are quite aggressive. Apart from the LA2A, that's probably the softest thing. But when you look at it, like everything's based around the Neve EQ, which is like very like it's in your face, isn't it? LA2A smoothing. What else did I have? Then there's the refresh with the harmonic excitement. Again, that's adding like color, isn't it? It's not strictly an EQ, it's color and it's distortion, it's saturation. And then you've got things like the 1176, all the buttons pushed in, absolutely cranked, but used in parallel, because that's really making that vocal come at you front ways. It's sitting up. I love the term sitting up. Imagine like a zombie, and then you put like, you plug in 1176 into them, and they're sitting up. It's alive, like Frankenstein. That's what the that's what the 1176 does with all the buttons shoved in. If those of you who don't know what that, it's a compressor. So volume attenuation just makes everything the same level ish dynamically. When you push all the buttons in, it just goes nuclear and adds lots of color and distortion in a good way. Things like that, SSL, 4K, and the fresh air. Yeah, so there's like, in compression, I'm trying to create like a lot of aggression there. So it has to come from several things doing different things. I mean, especially when you're compressing vocals and you have to compress them quite hard. Like I can't do it on like one compressor because it just chokes up the vocal and it just sounds weird. So you have to have like one doing an overall smoothing and then one doing an overall kind of just nuclearizing the whole thing. Or you might do something that like works specifically on transients and then a smoothing one. There's a few ways you can do it. But that's basically what I was doing. That was the rationale for it. Yeah, I mean, but it does. It's a great channel strip. It sounds great, And as you say, like when we put it on bass in the past on the lives, it's always like, oh yeah, that's really good. And actually, I will put it into my template on the bass. Now you mention it, because it's good. It's nice, I keep getting tempted to buy the UC. Is it the UCI UC1 controller? And I wonder, it could fit there, couldn't it? I might not use it. And then it's thinking like, could I, work it like this? Would it save time? Could work. It's very handy, yeah. And they look great, isn't it? But I can't buy something because like it looks great. God, I'm a coach. I mean, I'm not meant to be talking like this. But we do. Human beings, again, like this. I haven't done it for a while. Yeah, twisting and turning and doing things like is better. Well, yeah, because you're responding to the music. You're responding to what you hear. So it's more musical. We are mixing with our ears and not our eyes. Of course, it's about functionality, Stelly. That's it. I know that. But I keep getting distracted from what's happening on Discord. So, yes, now there's going to be another free coaching session coming up next Wednesday, right? So, having said all the challenging, uncertain kind of things, what I propose to do, and this is very, very important, is we're going to have a bit of a practical one. So my dream is this, okay? I'm going to run a coaching session, and what we're going to do is we're going to build our unique instrument templates. All right, that's what we're going to do. So everybody's going to come on the live. We're going to sit there. We're all going to have a blank project. Now, it doesn't matter, and this is really important, what you're using. If you're using Ableton Fine, Pro Tools, Fruity Loops, doesn't matter like what it is. At the end of the day, if you go to a restaurant, right, you don't ask and you eat a meal and you really like it, you don't ask what oven it was cooked in, do you? They're all the same, aren't they? Really. Same with doors, right? It's just, but in principle, we'll be doing the same thing. And that is, we'll be making a template that we can then do our reviews on and basically upgrade over time. All right. So in other words, what we'll be doing is we'll start off and I'll say, right, we're going to make, and I'll give you a time to do it. So I'll set a timer and I'll say, right, you've got, 10 minutes and I need you to work out who's going to be in your band, right? What drum machine you're going to use, what you're going to use for bass, what are you going to use for your mids, and what you're going to use for your highs. So that's called beats plus 4, right? You get those together, right? You've got your instruments together. We're not routing. We're not doing anything. You've just got your instruments. That is it, okay? And then also, you can, in that 10 minutes, just give yourself a starting sound. So on your drum machine, just get a kit like a 707 or something like that or whatever. Bass, just whatever you think. So bass you think you need, something you can play chords on and something you can play a lead on, okay, without flicking about. And then what we're going to do is you'll do a timed splurge. So you'll get another 10 minutes and then you're going to quickly write a piece of music with it, okay? When you do that, we'll do a quick free write on wins, problems, opportunities. Okay. When you do your opportunities, I'll then basically open the mic up and then I'll quickly kind of coach everybody on what they're doing, what they felt in the process, what they think their next steps are in upgrading their template. You'll upgrade your template based on those opportunities, and because in other words, like what you're doing is you're solving the problems. You're solving the problems that actually exist. Okay, that's the whole point of it. We solve those problems. We then run the experiment again. You write another track, wins, problems, opportunities, solve those experiments. There's Sean. Hi, Sean. Hi there. I'm busy with a track, but I'm here. Just wanted to say hello. No, that's good, Sean. And excited that you're working on lots of music at the minute. So that's really good, isn't it? Very good. So that is coming up. So that template building. All right. See, Sean, you might be interested in this. Next Wednesday, if you can make it, 8 p.m, we're going to be template building. We're going to be doing beats plus 3. So you'll already have a template. However, if you want to experiment with a new template, a new set of players, band members, and you want to test it out in an environment with other people, then basically Wednesday is going to be the day for you. And it's a great way to try. So you might have other instruments or things that you bought that you want to try out. So splurging's a great way to do that. So that's what we'll be doing next Wednesday, making unique instruments. So that's what to look forward to. And then moving forward from there, I'm planning on doing some sort of fast track session. Really, I'd have to get numbers on this. Well, I have to get numbers on all of them, really. But fast tracks it's just going to be a free thing, but then it is going to be something that people will pay for, but not like massive amounts of money. So I know we're working, we're busy, you know, time, motivation, just being able to sit down, focus, and do something. So what I propose to do is that maybe on Wednesday, once a month, that we do a fast track session for now. And if it picks up, right, and we want to run regular ones, and I could do like, but I'd need to charge for it, but it wouldn't be much. It would be like, what, I don't know, I think it's not going to be $50 or something, $25. I haven't thought about it, but anyway, it's not going to be much. It's going to be like a low thing, right? But what I thought is, for fast tracks, we would all get together. The session would be 3 hours. Okay. Actually, Sean, you've done this before. Fast tracks, haven't you? I think you might have done it twice. But basically, the idea is like once a week, okay? You'll be able to sit down with me and I'll run you through a process where you make a track from start to finish. So imagine once a week you can sit down and you can do all the heavy lifting on your music, bang, in 3 hours. And you'll wake up at the end of it after being in flow, feeling nice and relaxed, motivated, and practicing a process that you'll be able to take away and move forward with, okay? And have a piece of music that at the very least you'll be able to use as a backing track to play your guitar over if you're a guitarist. Or you'll have something that's nearly just about finished, that's ready for release, okay? That just needs the final 20% doing to it. That's or you might even get really lucky and do the lot. And it's just there and it's ready to go. So I think that would be, an amazing thing to see. Now, the great thing about these sessions is when you've got people on there and we've all got our cameras on and I'm setting timers and I'm saying, right, I want you to make as many ideas as you can in 10 minutes, right? It's incredibly motivating. Okay, so like one of the exercises, like, right, pick 3 emotions, and I want you to splurge as many ideas on each one of those emotions, right? You got 10 minutes. Here's the timer. Bang, 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 bang. You're just moving so fast, and because everybody else is on there, it's so motivating. And then you get these ideas and move to the next thing. So, right, we're going to pick like the contrasting emotions. We're going to put them together. We're going to do a very quick sort of draft. We're going to work on the tension release. You'll just go through the process like that. Oh, that's amazing. So there we go. There's Stelly. So I put some stuff together after yesterday evening coaching session, some ambient chill stuff. Brilliant. And that's the thing, isn't it? Just going with your mood. Ambient chill. Brilliant. Yeah, so Sean's done those sessions before, and incredibly rewarding. So I've talked quite a bit, and as I'm here, and there are people watching, and some people have left, which is fine. Does anybody want to ask me any questions now or talk about anything else? Has what I've said brought up any issues either in your guitar, music, instrument playing, music production that you would like to? Not saying I'm God or anything, but would you ask me a question? Is there something I can help with? Is there something we could talk about? Yes, we're talking about it. Do you stack synths, the bass? Do you? Right, I stack bass, and yes, I do. There has to be a need for it. So, basically, in this track here, I'll just show you. So, let's have a look. Right, this is the one thing with Tal at the minute. It pulls its cutoff down for some reason. Anyway. So in here, there are bass layers. I have a top bass, and I have the bass. Right, it's not quite a sub bass. So we've got. I'll mute it. That's like the main bass. For those interested, it's. I don't know how. I mean, I don't see that many producers doing synthwave, kind of going for like the Tal. I think maybe actually, might have seen Timecop using a variation of this plugin, but I like the SH101. It's got sliders. It's simple. You could call it simple, but actually, technically, you're accessing something quite complicated because you've still got 3 oscillators. You've still got a pulse width, a saw, and a sub oscillator which you're controlling. But it's all sliders, so it's very, very easy to see what's actually going on. Right, Mecca, how are you doing? You've just said something that's opened a can of worms there, and a good one. So, phase plant, guess what? I've just got it. And I just had the itch for a bit of modular action. So, yes, I've got phase plant. I started using it. Really like it. You've got it. Excellent. But yeah, I just wanted I use Serum, but I wanted something just a bit like, getting bored of it. I wanted something a little bit more sort of versatile that I could use, that I could make sort of decent sort of ambient-y kind of background stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can put your guitar riffs into it because it's got a sampler and stuff. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway, sorry, back onto layering. So Stelly was asking about layering. So the main sort of bass is this. Then the layer on top was this. So that's just like the top layer of the bass. Again, just mirroring the root notes in 16ths, but it's got a nice sort of FME digital sound to it, which I like. And you put the 2 things together. So that's what you get. You put the 2 things together because the SH101 is just great. It's like really solid in the center there, and it sounds good. And then you just, for a bit of spice, put that on the top. And then just on top of that layer, I've literally just got a 303. Hovering about. Why? Because, I'm bringing... So, like, this track is actually a collaboration between Freakstar and this Finnish black metal band, believe it or not, called... Magnador. So it's a collaboration, and because it's like Freakstar, I went back to some of my like later 90s Junkie XL roots. So there's like the 303s on there. I got Phase Plant Bundle, yes, Mac. I thought it was really, really reasonably priced. And yes, I've got it. So, I mean, I've got Phase Plant, like the plugins, because it was like with Slate. And I sort of use like things like the transient and stuff like that. Tend not to use much else actually, but now I've got that. It's just so convenient to have it in the synth, isn't it? So I'm probably going to use more stuff from that. But the one thing I find about, so because I've been talking about, you know, the Beats Plus 3 making a unique instrument, there's been plenty of times where I've tried to remake this template and do other things, and I always end up coming back to this particular set, this layout. So it must work because this is something I've just developed over time. Excellent, Mecca. So yes. Yeah, it's just like, it's really well thought out stuff. So there's the layers of the 303 and the top bass and the other bass, and we'll just run those together. Alright, there we go. And there's actually the rough vocals on here. Alright, Mech, so this is really interesting. I'll just come over to the other. So I'm sort of like, I don't spend it, I'm always on this new camera now at the minute. I do like, let's just get my chart. I'll spend a bit more time in here. Have you considered using AI as well with producing? Yes, and I do. There's been numerous experiments with AI. So in terms of in the door, my process, I don't know if it's AI or more like machine learning or whatever. I did try isotope stuff, and whether I was using it right or wrong, what basically happened is I would get it to do something like mix a track or mix the whole track, do all the levels, or I would ask it to process a snare or a kick or all that kind of stuff, and it would process it, do the suggestions, give me what it should be, and then I would hate it and then spend more time undoing what the AI had done, right, to try and find the bit that I wanted it to be, and then it just didn't, and then I just, like, this is a waste of time. It's actually like spending more time for the AI to do something and me undoing it than me actually just doing the thing myself in the first place and getting a better result. So the results weren't as good as what I could do. And I remember a while ago getting it to just do leveling in a track. So I got it to do the leveling in the track, and then I did a version, and like my version was way better. Probably because I'm the artist and I know how it should sound. The other thing about the isotope stuff as well is I found it very difficult to control. So that's part of it. The AI bit, you know, it can be okay, but it's how you actually control it, right? The one thing I absolutely love that's AI is the Sonable EQ4. So Sonable EQ4, we'll have a look, because there is actually, if I remember rightly, something that I need to do. And I think it was, we're looking at this sample. There's a bit of harsh distortion on the top of that. And anyway, not to worry. So we can get Sonable out. Sonable Smart EQ4. That's what I like. Better use VST3 as well. That's 4. I'll drop that in the channel. Get my bass out of the way. Bit slow today, this computer. Anyway, not to worry. Stick it after that. and then basically we can just see what it does. So you have different like algorithms basically that it'll work off. So I think I'll just run this through the way it is, and we'll see what it does. So this is the thing I quite like about it. Obviously it doesn't know that I don't want that low end, so it's kind of boosted it. So one thing we can do is just change that. I like the way you can control the low pass, high pass by just pulling it down like that. That's quite cool. And then we've got a bit stuff hyped at the top. So what I can do is I can get, this is the thing I like about this, because we can control the AI and we can basically leave it where it is or make the AI, what it's done, more exaggerated so we can agree with it or we can disagree with it. But that's how it can control what the AI does. I don't want it to hype the top. So now we've got so it's just nicely kind of EQing it and smoothing it out, which is great. Getting a bit glitchy this, isn't it? Right. So yeah, I mean that's the bit of AI that I do use and really like. Yeah, the Carve EQ is good. I've just briefly had a look at it actually. I wonder why we're getting a bit glitchy. Right, anyway, not to worry. Looks like a talkie show today. And I'll just do a quick session before I go to work on this track. Focusrite Fast Bundle, 6 plugins, I think, are powered by Sonable. Yeah, so the AI bit, the AI EQ, it tends to be like a last thing that I'll do. And I'll just put it on the key sort of instruments that I think need the most attention. So you usually find it on a kick and a snare. You'll find it on sort of the bass, and then whatever the most prominent lead instruments are, like the vocals. And then what I like what it does is all those EQs will communicate with each other, and then you can get it to do sort of a nice bit of like separation between the instruments. And I find it does a really good job of that. Sometimes it does it like too much, but as you can see, you can control the actual amount, almost like a wet and dry. So it works out really well. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm planning on upgrading, because it's getting the time, isn't it? When you're getting a new computer, so I'm going to upgrade like Christmas time, I think. But I'm not sure, because I don't know I mean, I'm on an M1. The jump to an M2 is not that significant. So do I use an M3? I mean, people have said like M3 is not the best for making music on. I'm not sure what that means. Whether there's like some really nasty flaw in it. So this Mac is an M1, and I've got 16 gigs of RAM. So I'm going to have to get something with at least like 32 gigs of RAM, I think. Yeah, I'm on a Mac. M1. Yeah. I mean, it holds its own. It's it's doing this stream. So it's running eCam. I've got 2 cameras going in at 4K, although it's like coming out at 1080p. No, it's cool. Yeah. But I don't think I can upgrade the RAM. So I'll just start again with it. Because I didn't think I'd be getting into video editing and stuff like that, to be honest, for a while. So, but that's all kind of happened now. So the upgrade. So I don't know if the M4 will be out, but we're on M3 at the minute. But the thing is, I'm gonna have yeah, I mean, I had the last sort of Intel 16-inch. It was good, but it was like noisy as hell. The fan was kicking off, and it was like just like, and it ran ridiculously hot. It was like, this is like quite cool. It's warm, but like that thing, you'd burn your hand on it. Seriously. So yeah, so I'm looking into that. The upgrade will be round about Christmas, much needed. Use a fan control, yeah. I'll be worried in case it like completely like wrecked like destroyed itself if it melted, because it doesn't half run hot. But anyway, I got rid of it, and then thankfully I got like an M1, and that problem was fixed. But yeah, so I'm in, the M1 I've got, as I say, it does all my streaming. It runs my studio at the same time, but I'm starting to outgrow what's going on here. When I get the new one, I'm not gonna just get it to copy the old machine. I'm gonna do fresh installs of everything as well, all the things that I need, and just take my time with it, really. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, you can hear the track. I'll run it. So the bits that are missing are, we've got a guitar solo to do. I've got my drum fills to do. I have to get rid of my dodgy filtering. What else do I need to do? There's stuff. In fact, I've got a list here. Well, just before I play it, we'll just have a quick read through what I put down. All right. Where are we? Oh no, that's my YouTube one. I need this. All right, this is looking better. Here it is. Right. So add room ambience from live. Actually, I've done that. I haven't done that. Guitar solo, need to do that. Harsh tame frequencies, I'll get round to that. So it needs tom fills, it needs a guitar solos, it needs a weird vocal adding. And we need to do something about the filtering, but I'm not as that specific on what needs to be done yet, so we can run it. Let's have a listen. If you don't drop it now, you'll never know. You're a time bomb that's about to blow. Get off the crazy bus, my friend. Yeah, she's an excellent writer, the missus. But yeah, so that's where I'm up to it. I mean, those vocals are just the guide for that track, just so I can work on it. I did actually the mix on the vocals the other day. But yeah, I mean, garbage. It's interesting because people pick up on the garbage influence, and I think there is definitely a little bit of that. However, the indie band that I really was influenced by was Curve. I absolutely loved Curve. I was mesmerized with Curve. The Doppelganger album. I just like loved how they got that band just sounded amazing. So Curve, Swerve Driver. I love Swerve Driver. I still listen to Swerve Driver. I think Garbage is just something out of those influences. It kind of happened to sound like that, or in Junkie XL. So like Freakstar was I was very, very inspired with Junkie XL. So I think when you put those things together, and then with the sort of like, even then I was like obsessed with dance music. I just wasn't really like releasing it. When you put all those influences together, then it becomes like Garbage, and then obviously like I listen to a bit of Garbage, and then yeah. So that's the Junkie XL influence, Breaks, all that kind of stuff was like kind of what, and those influences are still there. I've carried them. It must be just ingrained into my DNA, because I don't even like it. Just that style just comes out of me. I don't like have to think about it. It just happens. The way I choose samples, the way I pick sounds, the way I play things. Like in this context, I don't like none of it is interesting enough conscious. Stupidly simple. Yeah, they're just like so effective, I mean, Sharon's an interesting singer. I was talking about this the other day. So she's like she's like one of those singers like Nicki Minaj that has different characters, different people that she plays. But seems to get away with it. So that's imminent. There's a lot of stuff actually coming out with Freakstar. So there's like 3 old tracks getting released because none of it was ever released. So we've got 3 tracks that we're promoting, and then there's like 4 new tracks at the minute, including this one. So like, I'm really excited about releasing Devil Was My Friend, and then this one's cool. They're all pretty good, and then we've got Blackout. That's dark. Oh, cool, Mac. Thank you. She's the other thing with Sharon is she's sort of really getting into just on the Freakstar channel. She's like interviewing everybody who were getting involved in the project as well. So we've got a guy doing some animation at the minute, and we've got like a guy. God, we've got the photographer who she did a little like planning interview meeting with. Just filmed in here on the couch, and then she's did a 10-minute video which I found really interesting about the motivation of why she does music and why she's come back to it, which I thought's interesting because the motivation back then is completely different to what it is now, and I think it'll just be really interesting, because there's plenty of people who've probably been in that situation where, you did music back in the day, it was your life, and then life takes over and you don't do that because maybe it didn't work, and then you come back to it. I mean, the thing about Freakstar was And actually, you know, at the end of the day, if things go wrong, really, it's your fault, isn't it? But it did have some bad luck, and there was some terrible decisions that were kind of made that sort of like scuppered the whole thing. But fundamentally, it was, you know, back in 1998, I was sitting here, not here, but like somewhere else in a bedroom, and I was just able to make as much music as I wanted, and it got attention, and it was just me and Sharon, and I was self-producing, and we had a really good management company. It was so well connected, you know, major labels were really interested in us, as I talked about before. Like, we turned down the Levi 5-1 Twisted advert. But it was a rational decision, because the management said, you know, like, look, if you go with this, right, other labels won't be interested. Okay, and there's a bigger picture. And I was like, okay, man, let's go with the bigger picture. Ditch 501. You know, that was, oh God. But I don't regret it, because it was a completely rational, good decision to make, you know. And the money you'd make wouldn't be that. It was good, but not massive. You know, it would change your life. I would have just wasted all the money. Anyway. And most of it would have gone on tax, and that would have been it. You know, I don't think it would have significantly changed my life at all. So I don't regret that. But I think the interesting thing is, like, for me, I'm a professional musician, and like, it was just obvious I would just continue doing music. Sharon took different routes, so it kind of ended. But she's always been a musician. It's always been there, and she's come back to it. However many years later, 26 years later. Cypress Castles. I like a song. I like some pretty obscure stuff from for inspirational out there, the UK. Oh, but right, Crystal Castles. That sounds good. Yeah. Anyway, I've really enjoyed the stream this morning. It's great when, you know, we can sit here and we can talk, and it's been great to just follow up on the free coaching session that happened yesterday, and there's another free coaching session which I will get up in events soon, happening next Wednesday evening UK time, 8 p.m. A bit more practical. We're going to be building and testing our own unique instrument / templates. Okay, so it's a really important one, because I want people to experience this. I want you to see what it's like in the room with me, actually getting you to make some music. All right, so when you come on, which is all the coaching sessions, you're going to do stuff. All right, the thing about coaching is I'm just helping you by asking you specific questions that help you reflect on what you're doing and help you come up with your own solutions. This is why it's so powerful. Yeah, probably was. I mean, this is the thing we talked about yesterday. It's like getting the times right. It's really difficult. But it's like one of those things, the free coaching session, it's a bit of an event. It's happening once a week for now. And you know, I've got kind of plans for it, and the mission is really everybody who's on the Discord, you know, that's the group of people I'm focusing on, and you know, for free, I'm just helping everybody get some insight into the music making, help them make better music in less time with less pain. You know, that's the idea. So, and there's not that much of this going on. There's lots of tutorials helping you. I don't know, you know, I don't see a lot where you've got a musician with nothing in their hands talking about it, trying to help you. It's a slightly different dynamic. Check my profile if you've got time. I will try and get in your Discord, Coach. I just would love to hear your take on my work. Well, Mac, what I want to know is what is your take on your work? Because my opinion on what you do isn't that reliable. It depends on I might not like the music that you're doing. I mean, I bet it's really good. I might not understand it. I might have had an argument with the missus when I listened to it. There's all these variables in it. So it's kind of, I do feedback on music, right? But the way I do it is I get the person to give their own self-feedback on their music. And I have a framework, very specific framework that I use, and it's called PAFs, okay? So just a quick overview. PAFs, reviewing your music, okay? We're looking at the purpose. We're looking at the arc, okay? We're looking at the thing, we're looking at hooks, and we're looking at space. And if you could imagine, purpose is the center of your music. The purpose is the emotion, the idea, the story that you're trying to get across, okay? And everything around it is serving the purpose. So, for example, like when you're reviewing your music, does your structure, does the arc serve the purpose? Is there a thing? Now, the thing is a piece of, basically, it's a point in the music where it releases the most tension. Okay, so it could be a chorus, it could be the drop in like a dance track. Does it have a thing? I mean, the best example of a thing and releasing tensions is, you know, the dun 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 dun, like Michael Jackson bass line off Thriller. If you notice, like that song's all tension. And then what happens is it, even the chorus is like tension. When it builds and builds and builds, and then the release, they always go back to that bass line, and you can feel like if you listen to music and you observe your the actual physical, you can feel it dissipating off. It's really interesting. So, you know, is there a thing? Is it hooky? Do the hooks serve the purpose? And then the space, right? So we make space, you know, so atmosphere. It could even be found sound running underneath your track, you know, tweeting birds and stuff. I've got some crackly vinyl on this one, on the breakdowns. Or it could be the way that you use reverb, delay, modulation. It could be the way that you have things, you know, stereo panned. You know, does the space reflect the purpose, the emotion, and the story? And what I like to do is then ask the person, right, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would they rate it? And if it isn't 10, then the question is why. Now, if you answer that, okay, because this might be a common theme in all of your music, if there's a deficit there. If you can answer why it's a 7 and not a 10, you know, why is the thing not working? Why is it not releasing enough tension? Why is it, if you rated it at a 5, you know, why is it a 5? Now, if you can answer that question, that's valuable information. If I sit here and go, my opinion's this, right, and it would be great if you turned the hi-hat up, maybe you shouldn't use those chords, extend everything, that's not useful information, okay? But you actually having a system where you can reliably give yourself feedback, having listened to it in the room with somebody else, that's important. But the key is actually doing a listening session with other people, I find. So I hope that was useful on my feedback system. I know I will never get to be a name or anything. It's too late. It's right, stop. It's never too late. Don't say it's too late. It's never too late. Okay? Who's in control here? But if you don't want to, that's fine. But I write just to do something that gives me hope for myself. Okay, that's brilliant. I mean, you know what? Hope's a brilliant word. And, you know, when I'm not, like, doing my own music, doing the coaching, you know, like, I work as a therapeutic musician. I'm in the hospital. I'm in mental health, as I was saying before, working with autism, working with severe learning difficulties. I'm doing all sorts of, like, creative projects, right, that are so helpful to me doing all of this, right? And, you know, heaven forbid, if you end up in a hospital and you don't know what's going on and you don't know what there is, or, you know, then we'll use hope, right? But then again, right, for here, I don't think hope's the most useful thing, because what do you do with hope? Hope's something, I'm sitting here, right, and I'm hoping that my track kind of works itself out, right? I'm hoping, that I'll not put any weight on today, right? I'm hoping, but what I'm not doing, right? I'm not doing anything. I'm just hoping. Now, I have what is called an authentic core experience, which is really my core manifesto that runs in my music, in my interactions with other people, okay, who help, who are interested in my music. It's in all of my music. And my main mission is to help people go from an undesired state to a desired state, from an undesired destination to a desired destination, to move people from musically a state of emotionally and socially from a state of isolation, okay, and one to aspiration. And aspiration's the key. When we aspire to something, we're actively doing something about it. And you apply that to your music, and it's very, very powerful. It gets you moving, totally. And motivated. So music is more than hope. Music is so powerful. I have seen, right, people change their lives. They've been so ill, so poorly, right, that I've seen them be on wards long term. We're talking years, right? And then they've started attending sessions, okay, and they've started learning music. And used and been super creative and super resourceful, and they've learned to solve problems through music. It's a great way that the problem solving that we use and decision making we use in music, we can apply to all areas of our life, okay? And I've seen people countless times, okay, do this, get well, leave, and live happy lives. Because they've used music as a tool to help recover, to get aspiration, to help them focus on other areas of their lives, eating well, getting fit, and enjoying life, And it's more, music gives us much more than just hope. It is aspiration. There we go. And that is, I think people do not understand what anger and frustration is when expressing others and somebody to avoid. Where's my little thing? Like the text's meant to come up. I'll have to fix it. Yes. I see what you mean, Mark. And that's true, because it can be frustration. But again, music is a great way to channel that, isn't it? Don't apologize for getting deep. This is where I am. These are the things that we need to talk about. Life's not a straight line, is it? Like, things happen. Things throw us off course. And again, I always relate back to music. Being a music producer is dealing with uncertainty, but there's also uncertainty in life, okay? And being successful, and I don't mean being successful having lots of money, but just being successful in everything that we do. It's as much about falling off and getting up and doing it again, right, as it is winning. 100%. Yeah. And that's because I've been through it. I've been through all of this myself in spades. I've been lucky enough to be coached extensively, right? I've had 2 coaches before. I'm still coached now. Because the music industry, the music world around us is dynamic. It's always changing. We've got to keep on top of it. And it's important for me to do that. Right, well, I'm 53 now and fighting off the grave. It's something you can not get back up from. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't regret it, and I would still say it's not too late to keep going with music and just doing it and enjoying it and exploring it. You know? And I mean, at the end of the day, Mac, I've got, the free coaching sessions on the Wednesday evenings. It would be great to see you on there. Other than that, I mean, you can book me for a one-to-one coaching session. So anybody who's one-to-one coaching session for an hour, it's $75. Other than that, there's a coaching group that you can join on a Thursday evening. Okay, but if you want to talk about that, Mark, if you're interested in this sort of thing, you can just send me an email. My email's in, or you can message me on Discord. Just message me, and then we can hook up and just have a free chat if you want on Zoom. That's cool. Yeah, Stelly's right. You're not too old. Like, my mission as an artist is one of mastery. I'm never going to get to the end. I'm never going to be the best. And it doesn't matter. It's the process. Yeah. So just get in contact, Mac, and we can have a chat, right? Because you just never know what all the possibilities could be. And you could get super motivated and let's go. But I can guarantee you now, right? I'm going to be doing this, right? Till I drop dead. I've never done anything else. And I'm not going to compromise on it. So I'm going to make music. I'm not going to go, oh, I'm X age. It's too late for me now. No, because I'm not in competition with the world. I'm in competition with myself, right? And again, that design discovery thing. I'm not designing my life. I'm not designing I'm going to retire at this age. I'm always discovering. So there really is no future in a way. There's no result focus. I'm purely in the moment. And that's the best place to be. It's a great thing. So definitely, Matt, get in contact, and it'd be great to talk further. Other than that, guys, can you believe I've talked all of this time? So I'll have to think of an appropriate title for this live. But it's been a brilliant and very important session this morning. It's been great how it's, again, evolved. I've woke up, why am I doing lives? This is absolutely a ridiculous idea. I'm going to do some music, to not doing any music and having this absolutely wonderful conversation with you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. So I'm going to have to head off now and discover the rest of my life. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning. All right. Bye.